Oh man. All right. So this caught me way the fuck off guard.
Yeah,
What's
man.
up?
Get
Yeah,
to it.
when you guys dropped this shit on me, I was like, what happened? What
Man,
happened?
look.
Mm,
Look at this shit. Even the kid know. Like, what the fuck is he doing?
mm.
And sa may chang.
Look at this shit. And they laughing.
Yeah, it's about time for the Dolly to jump off that tour. About time to
Man,
park him. About time to park him.
Hey, China did the right thing by kicking his ass out.
they kicked him
Uh
out.
yeah, he's been in exile in India since like the 1950s or early 60s, something like that.
Man,
Ever
look.
But
since China took over Tibet. Since he is the religious leader, he's in exile because China don't play that shit when it comes to religion.
so what's
Right.
up with him on tour then? Why is he trying to play sucky face with little man?
Bro, I can't explain that shit at all. I mean, the only thing I can think is, that's religion. That right there is
Okay,
organized
there we
religion,
go. There we
Okay.
go.
and he is finally, mm, one of everybody else. Like he's now one
Yeah,
with
got
everything.
you.
Because what religion doesn't have this type of shit going on in it except for Buddhism? And here we go. You know what I mean? Um, what the fuck? What the fuck?
So, so,
You know,
so the
he
Dolly.
sat in a room full of fucking adults
Right. Right.
and
Yeah.
did this shit.
Right.
You
Right.
know what I mean? And like you
And they
said, there was
laughed.
fucking
They
giggles
laughed.
in the
And they
background.
laughed.
Right.
Yeah.
Listen, the Dalai Lama was the last holdout for me. I was like, he the only one that ain't touched the kid. And here this motherfucker is like, duck my tongue. That would have been the day on national television you seen me slap the shit out the Dalai Lama.
Mm.
You would have seen me beat the Dalai Lama ass. I'd probably be over in the Tibetan prison, walking on them pillars that Chandler Gerald was walking on with the glass of water in the Golden Child, because I didn't slap the shit out this man. So you telling me, listen, man, this motherfucker is supposed to be the same spirit reincarnated uh every lifetime. And this is what he do. He come back to suck a boy's tongue or have a boy suck his tongue. Like, at some point, people have got to open their fucking eyes. Those giggles and all of that shit was no different than in his documentary, Delivers from Evil, where they was talking about this Catholic priest. And this priest went from parish to parish molesting kids.
Mhm.
And all you saw was these parents up there. We didn't think he would do that. We didn't think he would do. Oh my God, who thought he would? So you let this grown ass man stay in the house with your children, knowing the history of this specific institution, and you didn't think there was a chance the shit could happen.
Hey, like I said, it's religion.
That's like
Religion.
that's like a motherfucker letting his wife go to a Baptist church, thinking that the pastor ain't gonna try and slide her no dick,
That's different.
or him if he goes,
That's
or your
different,
son,
though.
because they doing it all.
Yeah, I mean, well, for the wife, it's a consenting adult. You can't trust that bitch. Can't trust that pastor
Right.
either. But when you offering up your kids, man, I mean, that's
Yeah.
something huge, and it's a staple in I know Abrahamic religions where throughout the book it's offer me your child, sacrifice your kid, blah blah blah.
Yeah, man.
Taking the firstborn and all this other shit, man. It's always offering up
The
your most
baby.
prized possession
Yeah.
to God or some religious figure, and it's fucking bullshit. You know, um, it's a means of control, and when are people going to break out of that cycle of this shit? I mean, we grew up with it. Like there wasn't in my entire life. We deal with the accusations.
Right.
The after effects of people coming forward. My
Right.
entire life, I've watched people come forward, grown ass adults, tears in their fucking eyes, talking about,
Yeah.
Patty the priest, back in 1960, fucked me, my brothers, and my uncle. Like, and it just goes through generations, and everybody still ushers their children into church because it's the right thing to do.
Conditioning.
My kid's gonna be a choir boy.
Yeah. You saw that one that just dropped. What was that? Over 300 something allegations. Was it in Maryland or something like that? They just came out saying that the church fucked something up again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you
Little
see
boys' hymens.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you see the movie Spotlight, in which they pederasty is a widespread illness, and these figureheads practice this shit in order to maintain power over their congregations. Shout out to Drizzy. But in this movie, it was about these reporters. They were actually going after the church because all these fucking cases. It was with Mark Ruffalo. All of these cases of the child P word, was happening under this one church, and it was like this big controversy that they were covering up. And it's like you said, man. Name one religion that's never done this shit. Apparently, in one, at the little whatever they do for the babies when they come, they bite the little. They used to, or a certain sect, bite the tip of the foreskin off. What they I'm gotta be careful with this shit. The religious person would bite the tip of the wingle wangle, the little meat off. And it's like, come the fuck on, man. And they said that they had to stop it because it was leading to infection. Like, no fucking shit. Like, who comes up with that? Like, you don't gotta listen to a motherfucker because he tells you that God ordained him.
It's conditioning. It's conditioning. That's all it is. From the parents, like who told you you got to go and pay tithes and do all this other shit. You got conditioned from your parents. They got conditioned from their parents.
Right.
And then their parents got conditioned from massa.
These same people be like, abortion is against God. Like, so you that's a credible statement from the same motherfucker who touches on children.
Bing, bing, bing.
Oh, don't scramble up all that good booty and throw it in the dumpster.
Right.
Bring it to the church.
Yep.
Bring it to the church.
So we could,
It's against the Lord. It's against the Lord.
But
bring it to the church so we can fuck them. Go ahead.
That circumcision thing, where they're biting the foreskin off. I remember that led to a bunch of cases of herpes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I know. If I remember correctly, I think some of those kids went blind because of herpes.
Because it goes untreated.
Yeah. I mean, and like you said, Ed, for Black people, of course, it is a repercussion of slavery. But what's the explanation for white people?
No, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me get there. You don't think, because you got to figure, man.
I think it cuts both ways. The same. I think they, and some people, especially in the Catholic Church or whatever, because Bob hit it out the park when he was talking about how they will always say, I didn't know that Father, whatever could do that. Whatever. We let him in our house. We let him babysit. We let him take him shopping. All kind of stuff. You know what I mean? They fall into that same trap just like any other race. They fall into it too as well, man.
Well, you gotta look at today's white person is not specifically from one area of the world. You got Italians that they met up with Irish met up with Scottish, Italians met up with Scottish. These people, when we think centuries ago, had their own deities before a certain religion was imposed upon them. It's kind of like when you look, I think it's the requirement of 1513, when they first traveled over into I think it was the Spanish first traveled over into South America or some shit like that. And they would read this thing off about, you will accept the Lord. It was conquering shit, but they did it under the flag of religion. And it was like, if you don't do this, your women and children will be subjugated. Your women will be raped, and it's not our fault because this is ordained by God. Meanwhile, these people didn't even know which fucking language they were speaking. Because these were Spaniards talking to some indigenous folk. So this is what I'm saying is this shit is imposed on them just like it was us for different reasons. For us, it was to keep our people in line. If you watch the last, what is that shit? Birth of a Nation, Nate Parker's. That's what that was about. They used him. That's what he put in that movie. They used him as the pastor. That's why they let him read the Bible to keep the other slaves subjugated until they got in his ass. He flipped the script with the scripture, and they looked at him like, what the fuck did he just say? And then they whipped his ass for it, and that's when he lost his shit. He saw what he was doing. It was like, this shit is wrong. He saw it was being used. So, yeah, it ain't like we all affected.
So there's can't just say they don't have a legitimate excuse for following into that pitfall like everybody else did. So, all right, man. We got a time limit. We got a new time limit we got to keep.
Let's get it.
Let's keep pounding.
All right. Let's see. Marjorie Taylor Greene.